District 64 leaders have carefully examined our facilities over the past 6 months, and we have revised our master facilities plan to address critical needs within our buildings.
I feel like my job is to just give you the unvarnished truth about how things are going. I just want to be really honest with all of you about what I see as the state of things.
It all boils down to what we can do to protect our buildings, protect our children, and preserve our future. This video will be a tour of all 5 elementary school buildings: Carpenter, Field, Franklin, Washington, and Roosevelt. Every elementary school has a crucial safety concern: the doors. Most are original to their building and are anywhere from 60 to nearly 100 years old. More than 180 doors and frames need to be replaced in our elementary schools, and redoing all the interior doors and frames across the district will cost around $2.5 million. The HVAC systems at Field, Franklin, Roosevelt, and Washington are nearing the end of their lifespan. As these systems continue to age, they fail more often and become more expensive to fix. On average, we spend $80,257 per year on HVAC service calls to our elementary school buildings. Updating our HVAC equipment will not only be more energy efficient and cost effective, but also prioritize our students' health by providing proper ventilation. Fire alarm devices are imperative in keeping our students and staff safe during an emergency. The fire alarms in every elementary school ceiling need to be replaced. There are countless examples of obsolete infrastructure. For example, here at Roosevelt, you cannot manually flush these urinals. They're automatic. As a result of this plumbing system, all of these urinals flush every 15 minutes for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even when nobody is in the building. The 14 auto-flushing valves can be found at Carpenter, Field, Franklin, and Roosevelt, and we pay around $22,268 per year for just the water flushed in those select bathrooms. Let's take a look at the basement in Carpenter. Here's a spot where water's been leaking for years, and there's been many different attempts to seal the wall and pipes. So much water leaks onto this piece of equipment that there's a drainage hose, and that's a safety concern because it's a high-voltage box. At Roosevelt, there's a section of the basement with water seeping through the walls. The leak has been going on for so long that you can see the deteriorated layers. Then, due to foundation problems, water can leak under a door. Here is what the Field basement looks like on a rainy day: a constant drip of water. The ceiling has numerous cracks and plenty of moisture is finding its way through. In another section of the basement, you can see the after effects of water damage. On top of that, the water is coming from a wall right next to several electrical boxes. Some of the hallways and classrooms at Field, Roosevelt, and Washington aren't properly lit and still have fluorescent lights. Replacing them with LED lights will brighten up the spaces, and adding LED lights across the district will save taxpayers around $50,000 in the first year. Many of our elementary classrooms need to be renovated to an acceptable base level. The carpets in some classrooms are decades old, and in some, like this one at Field, they are separating and tearing at the seams. This Roosevelt classroom doesn't have much space for flexibility. And besides being cramped, it also has old shelving units and a univent that provides heating and cooling but is loud and expensive to repair. Here's another similar Roosevelt class with ceiling tiles on the verge of breaking. At Franklin, this class has antiquated heating and cooling along the wall, as well as original tiling against the wall and old cabinets and storage that need to be replaced. You'll find rooms that look similar in each school. For example, here at Washington, the shelves separate from the wall, and then there are doors that, despite being fixed numerous times, are falling off the hinges. Here is an example of a classroom at Carpenter that was only partially renovated. This area has new carpet, storage, and tables, and if you follow the shelves along the wall, you'll see where the new meets the old. Underneath that old shelving unit, there's a glimpse of the wood and wall deteriorating. The Carpenter basement auditorium also needs some work. You can see some chairs marked by tape that need repair, but also entire rows are missing complete chairs. We currently have classes being held in the hallway. English learners, special education, and intervention classes are going on in some of our noisiest places because there are not enough small areas for these groups to meet. Here is an example at Field Elementary School. A group of EL students meet with their teacher in a doorway right off of the main hallway. The items on the walls aren't decorations, they're learning tools with nowhere else to go. Right next to where this group is trying to talk, listen, and learn is a band room where you can hear those students practicing. At Franklin, an entire hallway is filled with extra seats and desks so that teachers can help some of our youngest students. They have to compete with other students going up and down the hallway and using their lockers directly behind where this group is seated. Our schools are truly community spaces, and that's no more evident than how often our playgrounds are used. Right now, our playgrounds are deteriorating and they're far from being ADA accessible. The goal would be to have playgrounds at our schools that every child in our district, regardless of their physical abilities, could use. Looking at the wasted costs for our elementary schools, it's around $152,525 a year. Getting to this point didn't happen overnight. Like many other districts around us, we put off necessary maintenance for decades so that resources were always being directed towards students. While this was well-intentioned, it has created challenges in our buildings that we now need to address. We have been budgeting around $2 million every year for construction projects, but the scope of required repairs and improvements across the district is significantly beyond that dollar amount. All of this information and more can be found online at d64.org/2024 proposal. At the heart of every conversation is finding the best ways to protect our buildings, protect our children, and preserve our future.